Yeah, it's tough really, but obviously he's been see the top specialists, and as you've just showed you the statement, he will be getting an operation sometime soon, and then we'll just wait to see how that recovers, and we'll do all the right things to get him back on the grass, but more importantly his health is the most important thing in it. You know, he's had this for a couple of years, and where he's, you know, felt the effects of the bangs and the way Ched plays. You know, and we're just glad we've sort of got to the bottom of it either way really. But as you've seen on the statement which will go out this afternoon, is we'll be looking to get him treatment as soon as we possibly can, surgery, and then we'll get him on the road to recovery, and we'll see where that takes us.
Most importantly, how is he?
Do you know what, I think it was a bit of he's finding himself, he's been in and around, and we're trying to keep him bubbly, but it's a bit of a sickness, isn't it, really? But the most important thing for me, and as I said to him, and I addressed it with the lads, you get a lump in your throat when you speak about it, you know, because he's 34, not 24. He's coming to the back end of his career, if you like, but albeit he's in a rich frame of form. And I think he was disappointed the fact that he can't help the lads from now to the end of the season, which was a big thing with Ched, who's a leader. But more importantly, it's, you know, he's got to look at the brighter future of his kids and his wife and his family, and what he can do with them going forward. So in terms of that, he's okay, but I think the news is better than what we thought it was, because he will have surgery, and there's a good chance that he'll wear a Preston North End shirt again. But we'll have to wait and see on the surgery and how that goes. So he's obviously disappointed, but he could have been worse. But the most important thing, regardless of whether he puts a shirt on again or boots on again, is his health, and his health will be fine.
There's that saying, isn't there, that health is wealth, and that goes before anything, right?
It is, mate. And me and Ched had a chat about it, and, you know, there's life after football, isn't he? And I think that's what he knows. But listen, we'll be doing everything we possibly can for Ched to get back playing football, but it'll all be governed on him, not us. If he feels he's right, and the surgeons feel he's right, the specialist feels he's right, and we can go in and be positive that he'll be fine, then great. But if not, and he's healthy and he's walking around and he's got his family to support and to be around with his kids on the park and whatever else, then even better. So yeah, but look, at this moment in time, it's still raw with him. I think once we get the surgery penciled in, he'll be, and his wife definitely will be relieved, because there's a worry, you know, in that. So once that's done and that's settled down, and we get him on the road to recovery, and we'll see where it takes us. But listen, he's got all our best wishes going forward, while he has the surgery and while he's here with us. We're keeping him bubbly, we're keeping his routine ready. He'll probably spend a little bit of time away with the family just to get his head around everything, which is fine. And then we'll look to get his bubbly face and smiling face back around the dressing room with the lads, and even coming to games once he's had the surgery. And yeah, we'll keep a smile on his face as much as we possibly can.
This isn't an ACL, this isn't a broken leg, this is an injury that is synonymous with American footballers, right? Which goes to show the severity of it. So we can't expect you to sit here this morning and give us any guarantees on the future, can you?
I wouldn't give any guarantees, because I'm not the specialist in it. I'll leave that to the right people. All I can guarantee is that we'll make sure he's around us, his routine's right, he's made and felt loved like he always is. And yeah, look, for me, as the manager of Ched and the football club, it's not about me, the football club. It's just ultimately about Ched and his family. And if we can be there to support him one way or the other, whether it's he gets a shirt back on and boots back on, or whether we see him running around the park fields or in the swimming baths with his kids, that's just as important. So for us, we can't have no guarantees of what will be and what won't be. What we do know is going to see the best specialist in that, and the best surgeon in that, because we make sure we'll do that. And we know he'll be right as rain when he comes back, but then we'll decide, and he'll decide whether he wants to continue his football future. Until then, we have to, you know, take notes and take the information off the specialist and the surgeons once that's all been done.
Ever since you've been here, Ryan, he's not always been the first name on the team sheet. You've had other strikers at your disposal as well, this season and last season. Have you had to manage this throughout you being the manager here? Has that come into your thoughts when you've been picking the team each week?
Managing
Ched's injury situation, this thing that has been.
No, because he's felt right as rain. It's only the last couple of bangs he had against Rotherham, because he's felt fine. He's obviously been aware. I think he had I can't remember what the injury he had when he was at Fleetwood, but he got through it, he was fine, he's fit, and Eddie always puts himself forward, never ducks and dives, and never says I can't play, or he's always throws himself out there, hence why he's probably, you know, suffered this type of injury, because he's a battling ram, isn't he? He gets up and takes the hidings ball, people coming over the top and takes knocks. It was only the Rotherham game we felt it was a little bit too much, and he felt a little bit discomfort of it. But in managing Ched's been a pleasure really, in terms, because he's that hungry to play and wants to play every week. But it's a good thing we got the specialist views after the Rotherham game over the last few weeks to know and nail down really what it is. But I haven't had to manage him in terms of worrying about that, because we didn't really know as such that was there. In terms of the severity of it was only come to fruition after the Rotherham game really, because of the couple of bangs he had, and we needed to make sure, and fair play to Jacko, he wanted to get a specialist opinion on it, because at one point I thought he was going to be ready for Blackpool, to be honest with you. We kept him in house, and then once the report come back, there was no way we were going to let that happen. So now we've already managed Jed, and he's got to manage the family, and we're there for the family, me and the football club, and as mates will be, and see where he goes from there.
Do you look at it now and think it's a good job you signed